Okay, in this video, we want to find a tangent plane to a surface at a point. So we first have to ensure that the function that we're dealing with is differentiable. If a function is not differentiable, it's not going to have a tangent plane at a point. So differentiability means that both partial derivatives with respect to x and with respect to y exist and are continuous on an open disk in the domain. If that happens, then our function f of xy is differentiable on that domain. So our goal will be to find a tangent plane to the surface at a point and then use it to approximate function values. We can use a tangent plane much like we used tangent lines in single variable calculus. Tangent lines were the best approximation to a curve at a point, and we will find that tangent planes are also the best approximation to a surface at a point. So in this video, we're going to start with an implicitly defined function in space whose equation is f of xyz equals 0. So this function f of xyz is in space, and we want to find a tangent plane to the surface. So here's a sketch of this surface. We're interested in finding the tangent plane at, let's say, point P. I'll call it P sub 0. And so the first thing that we're going to do, so our surface here is f of xyz equals 0. It's just written implicitly, but it's still a function of two variables. Okay, first we're going to actually just think about a curve that's on our surface that passes through P. Let's call that curve C. And let's suppose that curve C is on the surface and can be parametrized by a vector function Let's call that vector function r of t. And r of t is a vector function in space whose components are x of t, y of t, and z of t. Oops. Okay. So we have a curve, and since our curve is on the surface, that means that it must satisfy the equation of our surface. So that means that the components of my vector function must make the equation of my surface true. And so that gives us that if I plug into our surface equation x of t, y of t, and z of t, we have that f of x of t, y of t, and z of t must be equal to 0 because our vector function lies on the curve, so it satisfies the equation of our surface. Of course, I'm speaking here in very general terms, but I'm doing this for a reason. Our goal, again, is to find a tangent plane. To find a tangent plane, we need a point. We have a point, let's say P sub 0, but we're also going to need a normal vector to the surface. And so in doing what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to find that normal vector so that we can develop the equation of the plane. So the next thing that we're going to do in our path towards finding our tangent plane is I'm going to differentiate this equation using the chain rule, and I'm going to differentiate with respect to t. And when we do that, f depends on x, y, and z. So we're going to have to use the chain rule since we have a composition where each component depends on t. So differentiating both sides will give me the partial derivative of f with respect to x times the ordinary derivative of x with respect to t, plus the partial derivative of f with respect to y times dy dt, plus partial of f with respect to z times dz dt, and on the right we're still going to have 0. Now, if you pay a little bit of attention to what we have here on the left, you might notice that we could write this as a dot product, right? Because we have products that are being added for each component. So we could write this as the dot product between this vector, whose components are partial derivatives, and we know this vector, we'll talk about it in a moment, and this vector, whose components are ordinary derivatives with respect to t of our vector function. So dx dt, dy dt, and dz dt. All right, so let's identify each of these vector functions. We've seen this before. The vector that gives us the partial derivatives of a surface as its components is our gradient vector. So this gives us the gradient vector of our surface. And this is the dot product of the gradient vector. And it's been a while since we've seen this guy, but this is the derivative of our vector function, r of t. So that's just going to be r prime of t. And now we have a relationship between our gradient and the derivative of our vector function. Because this dot product is 0, the implication here between these two vector functions has to be that they are orthogonal. So since the dot product is 0, so we're almost there. We now know that our gradient at our point and our derivative of the vector function at our point, they are perpendicular to each other. And recall that this is the tangent vector to our curve at the point p sub 0. But really, we've derived this in a very general way. So let's go back to our diagram and draw what we have so far. So recall that the tangent vector actually, if I sketch it on my curve, gives us the direction of the vector function. So my vector in blue is r prime of t at my point p0. And well, now we're thinking, okay, our gradient is perpendicular to that vector. So I can sketch the gradient. Of course, I can sketch the gradient either going up or down, but I'm going to sketch it in this direction. Doesn't really matter, but there's my gradient must be perpendicular to the derivative vector. Okay, now let's think a little bit more. Well, does this gradient then serve as our normal to the plane, to the surface? Well, it does, and here's why. Suppose that I have a different curve that passes through that point that's also on the surface. Well, its derivative vector will also be perpendicular to the gradient because of how we derived this relationship. So no matter what curve I draw through my point P, all of the derivative vectors are going to be orthogonal to the gradient. And so all of these derivative vectors are going to be vectors that are on the tangent plane. So let's make a note of that. The tangent vectors to all the curves on our surface passing through the same point so let's say passing through P naught, they will all have this relationship because this wasn't specific to one specific curve. It's in general. So all of them are orthogonal to the gradient of f. That means, and if they're all orthogonal to the gradient, that tells us that all of these tangent vectors are on the same plane. So the tangent vectors to all the curves that pass through that point are on the same plane. And that plane that contains all the tangent vectors to our surface, that is our tangent plane. So for sure, given what we found right now, our tangent plane will have as its normal vector the gradient vector. So we can conclude from our work here that the gradient of f of x, y, z is the normal that we need to the tangent plane. Now, we also have a point on the plane. Let's call it P naught. Let's give it coordinates A, B, and C. So now we can write the equation of our plane. We have our normal, we have a point. So the equation of the tangent plane to the surface at P naught will be as follows. Recall that the gradient has coordinates partial derivative of f with respect to x, partial of f with respect to y, and partial of f with respect to z. So here we go. Let's write down the equation of the tangent plane. First, we'll have the first component of our normal vector, partial of f with respect to x, times x minus a, right? That is a vector that lies on the tangent plane. We're just taking the difference between the components, or between the 2 points, p naught, plus the second component of our normal vector times y minus b, plus the third component of our normal vector times z minus c equals 0. We can also write this as f with a subscript of x at ABC times x minus a plus f with a subscript of y at ABC, these represent partials, times y minus b plus f with a subscript of z at ABC times z minus c equals 0. And this is the equation of the plane tangent to an implicitly defined surface. So good thing to note down, equation of the plane, tangent plane, to our implicitly defined surface f of x, y, z equals 0 at the point P naught, whose coordinates are A, B, and C.